Alright guys, welcome back to more 428 Shibuya Scramble. My name is Raven from the Sky, and let's do this. Alright, so we're gonna go back and tell Toyama to go back to the office. Now I know I didn't have to record that for those of you who are watching, who've been watching the whole series, but you always get the poor soul who comes across a random episode looking to figure out like if he's stuck on the story. Figure out, well, how do I get him to stay at the office? What do I say? What do I blah, 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 blah. So this is why I'm recording it to show you. You need to go back to the office ASAP, all right? And that's going to free up Kano's bad ending. For those of you who don't know, you probably do though, if you've been playing the game, that your decisions affect the entire story across all characters, not just one character. Right, blah, blah, blah. As you went back to the office. And that's true though. You know, I should have said that first. I wasn't thinking. I'm thinking like if he go back, they'd still be there. No. If he's not there, they're gonna leave and look and search for you on the street. But it's like the way my brain was working, I'm thinking there's more areas. Like how Aichi and that girl, you know what I mean? How they were in alleys and stuff. It's more places to hide. That's what I was thinking. He hung up. All right, we've already heard the rest of it. Peace out. Dude, hold up. Oh crap, you a cop. Alright, we already saw this dialogue. Let me see what happens. I told him to stay at the office. one side, you take the other. Okay. Just give the word. There are only two non-Japanese. And then. What? I told. I don't get it. I told him to stay at the office. It's the same. Okay, maybe we gotta progress more with his. I'm doing this to help other people get out of their bind. I'm in one myself. It's supposed to be a walkthrough. The rain won't let up. No matter how much time passes, it just won't stop. Ever since that day, the sound of raindrops has been burned into my mind. Such an awful, heart-rending sound, driving me to strip my life down to shadows. And yet, no matter what else I abandon, nothing will make the sound of the rain stop. Osawa stared at the postcard that was nestled into the final page of the photo album. He purchased it 2 years earlier while on a trip with Maria to the Middle East. Originally used to indicate Iran, Afghanistan, and the region surrounding them. In modern times, the term refers to part of southwestern Asia, excluding India and Afghanistan, and a section of northeastern Africa along the Mediterranean coast. However, in Japan, as well as the U.S., the term Middle East is often understood to refer specifically to those parts of the region with a strong Islamic influence. He mentioned that he was being sent there on business, and Maria had just blurted out, "I want to go with you." She recently developed an interest in the Middle East conflict, and apparently she had been yearning to see that area firsthand. Ongoing friction in the Palestine region between the Jewish people who founded the nation of Israel and the Arabs who had been living there previously. The religious and historical context of this cultural clash is well beyond the scope of what can be elucidated here. His daughter's newfound curiosity had taken him aback. She had always tended to be quiet and self-contained. The clumsy conversations abroad, the airplane, the meals eaten together in awkward silence, it all felt like such a distant memory to Osawa now. "Ma'am, I'm afraid I can't let you do that." He heard Kajiwara's voice outside the door. Why ever not? I'm just going out for a bit. The detective was arguing with irate. And just who was it who told me I should try to go about my life as normal? Osawa's wife sneered. Ma'am, please, How would you feel about being told to just sit around and wait? As angry shriek jerked Osawa to his feet, he hurried from the study to try to calm her down. Ma'am, please wait. But by the time Osawa had made his way downstairs, his wife had already stormed outside, despite Kajiwara's attempt to stop her. Osawa doubted anything he could have said would have stopped Ai from leaving. Trying to physically keep her from going out would only have made for even worse uproar. He was glad that at least it hadn't come to that. He was turning to head back into the study when Kajiwara caught his eye. Resigned, he headed down to the stairs and bowed to the detective. Any idea where she's going? Kajiwara asked. I mean, at a time like this? Osawa shook his head. I wouldn't know. I didn't think so. You know, your wife really is something else. Osawa arched an eyebrow. That's one way to describe her. A rather rude way, as a matter of fact. Oh, no offense intended. It's just that, ever since this case started, you've both been holed up in your own respective rooms. The more Kajiwara spoke, the more irritated Osawa became. What's your point? He demanded. I just mean you haven't been having any marital discourse. According to one survey, and roughly 6% of households, discourse between spouses is largely non-existent. Various reasons for this were offered by the couples in question. Many claim that they were too tired to have the energy to talk, or stated we wound up fighting when we talk, or we have nothing to talk about. Mind your own business, Osawa snapped. Kajiwara dipped his head deferentially. The two of us not talking isn't a new thing. Anyhow, I have a policy of not having pointless conversations. Excuse me. It's quite common for Kenji Osawa to make it through an entire day without having a single conversation. On many days, he opens his mouth only to eat or brush his teeth. His current record is a streak of 14 consecutive days during which he didn't talk to anyone. And didn't look as though Kajiwara quite understood. Microorganisms such as viruses don't have conversations, and yet still they continually propagate in order to survive. Thinking about viruses, Osawa was back in familiar territory. He felt a surge of confidence. Once you have a clear purpose, conversation is unnecessary. And do you have a clear purpose for the relationship with your wife, Mr. Osawa? Of course I do. To be a family. Arms crossed, Kajiwara struck a thoughtful pose. At least I've learned one useful thing today, Mr. Osawa, namely that you don't like to have pointless conversations. It's a good thing to know. Kajiwara uncrossed his arms for a moment, then crossed them right back again, furrowing his brow. But I see, that's funny. You seem to have a tendency to have pointless conversations with me, and because you keep coming to talk to me, Osawa saw red. You don't leave me much of a choice. Tanaka poked his head in and out of the living room. Is something the matter? He asked. Oh no, Osawa struggled to regain his calm. Perfect timing, actually. There's something I need to talk to you about. He turned back to Kajiwara. My apologies, detective, but would you mind giving us some privacy? Kajiwara didn't move. Detective? Osawa gave the policeman a hard look and saw him crack a smile. Yes, what is it? Kajiwara said at last. Don't you play dumb with me. Give us some privacy. Is this a discussion I shouldn't overhear? Actually, yes, it's work related. There are business matters I prefer to keep confidential. Ah, I see. Reluctantly getting to his feet, Kajiwara slipped away to the living room. Tanaka Osawa began. About those emails, he stopped abruptly. Kajiwara had reappeared in the living room door, staring right at them. What are you doing? Osawa demanded. Oh, should I not be watching? Osawa felt like he was about to burst a blood vessel. I mean, you never told me that I couldn't watch. Because it should be obvious. The detective made a scolded puppy face and closed the living room door. Osawa let out a heavy sigh. He'd never been an extrovert, but he didn't recall human interaction being quite this draining. Anyway, sir, Tanaka prompted, you were saying? Yes, about those emails. Something doesn't make sense. I don't understand how Mr. Makino was able to get the antiviral agent to anyone on the outside, sharing an Okoshi Pharmaceuticals drug with external sources while it was still under development, required the approval of an executive committee that included Osawa himself. There should have been no way the antiviral could be sent out without his knowledge. Tanaka hesitated a few moments before responding. Are you aware of the strife between the company president and the chairman? Osawa shook his head. He was a researcher through and through. Fractional rivalries held no interest for him whatsoever. Makino effectively leads the chairman's team, and the antiviral agent is their pet project. Despite being the executive officer in charge of the project, however, Makino still needs the president's approval to... You know what? Forget about that right now. What do we do about security? In theory, it was physically impossible to get the antiviral out of the lab without detection. Entry to the biohazard laboratory where it was kept required fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka. Technology allows an individual's identity. Well, we have these on our phones. We know what this is. Okay, without the two of them there, nobody could even get into the storage facility. Tanaka followed his drift. Ah, yes. I see what you mean. He inclined his head and thought as Osawa continued. Could someone have overwritten the fingerprint authentication program? Let's check the entry logs for storage section. We'll just have to ask Makino in person. I don't think we can do this. They won't let us leave. It's one of these two. Let's check the entry logs for the storage. Anyone who wanted to get inside had to present their ID card to the security guard on duty. It should be possible to check the computer logs to see if there had been any suspicious activity in the system. Tanaka shook his head. I already checked the logs, sir. There's no evidence of anything suspicious. You're welcome to check for yourself, though, if you're that worried. No, I believe... Shoot. Yet the fact that the antiviral had been used for the clinical testing, either Makino had taken it from the laboratory personally or someone working on his orders had done so. But how? Was there really some way they could have bypassed the lab security without anyone else knowing? Osawa couldn't think how it would be possible. Here we go. A living room door opened with a soft creak. It was Kajiwara, and he looked stiff and pale. Something terrible has happened, he said. Visions of tragedy flooded Osawa's mind. Maria. Is she? Kajiwara shook his head. No, it's not that. What is it then? Osawa asked, his voice trembling. Sir, I need you to stay calm. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. You see, the toilet's clogged. plunger in hand, a cleaning utility implement consisting of a soft hemispherical rubber suction cup attached at the end of a dowel. By pressing the cup over the opening of a drain that has been clogged, one can apply suction pressure to jostle the blockage free. It makes a variety of sounds when used, such as glub, glork, schluck, slurp, sloop, and pop. Yeah, it's a crack puller, that's what it is. Struggling to loosen the unseen blockage. You're gonna have to, if it doesn't come loose, been down that road before. You're gonna have to wait for it to break down. Someone's bowels clogged the toilet. They didn't wipe, flush, wipe, flush. Instead, they just wipe, and then flush like a whole gob of toilet tissue down the toilet, and it got stuck in the pipes. You're gonna wait for that to break down, or take. Y'all have done this. Fill the trash can up with water and pour it down to force the blockage down. He's at his side, wiping up the floor with a rag. How did this even happen? The detective groaned. Are you kidding? I was hoping you could tell me that. Plunger sucked and slurped at the... This was a first world sour. He never tried to unclog the toilet before in his life. Think of it as a blessing in disguise, Mr. Sour. What the heck are you talking about? What about this constitutes a blessing? I just meant that at least this happened before you needed to do your business. Without the slightest hint of guile on his face, Kajiwara picked up his bucket and headed for the sink. Yep, back to the washing area. You fill it up and pour it down. Oh, we got 2 bathrooms. I'm telling you, if I ever, you get your own house or own place, at least 2 bathrooms. At least. You never know. I won't clog up the toilet, but you never know what someone else will do. And too embarrassed to tell you they leave and you there with a clogged toilet and you got to go to the bathroom. He's right. At least man, that's the worst if we only have one toilet. Grumbling to himself, Saul pumped the plunger over and over and over again. It's no use. You're going to have to wait till it breaks down. This was almost funny. Almost ridiculous. In fact, his daughter had been kidnapped and he was stuck unclogging a toilet. Was quite possibly caught up in a major corporate conspiracy, and here he was unclogging the toilet. I wonder if the kidnapping has something to do with the corporate conspiracy he's caught up in. Now that I think about it, as we get further into the story here, this bad ending, Naka poked his head into the bathroom. Did you fix it yet? If you need to urinate, then use the restroom on the 2nd floor. That's alright. Here's fine. Tanaka stepped in beside him and abruptly shut the bathroom door. Now the 2 men were crammed in together in a narrow lavatory. Hey! Oh, sorry, I hissed. What the heck are you doing? Tanaka made eye contact with Saw via the mirror. He spoke in a hushed voice. I've been waiting. For a moment I can get you alone. What? Tanaka sidled around to face him, giving him an intense stare. Sir, could you please be quiet for a moment? Tanaka had tears in the corners of his eyes. It's only take a moment. Sawa could feel the warm breath of his deputy whispering against his cheek. Tanaka reached for something inside his coat. Hey, come on, knock it off. Sawa lifted the plunger like a weapon. Look, if you want to talk, we can do it out there. Sawa shoved Tanaka out of the bathroom. Alright, do as you wish. Alright, do as you wish. What do we got? You sure you're ready for this? I'm not sure. It's all happening pretty fast, to be honest. I'm rather nervous. I understand, sir. I mean, now that I think of it, we do spend day in and day out in the lab together. I suppose this was bound to happen sooner or later. Sir, could you please open your eyes? I'd like you to look at this. You'll have to forgive me. This is all a bit sudden. Please, sir. Take a look. No, I can't. It's just the 2 of us. It's possibly going to shock you, I know, but please, just look. Is it really that shocking? Oh, yes, very. Now, please, open your eyes. Okay? No, I can't. Sir, trust me, this isn't easy for me either. All right. Bracing himself, Osara opened his eyes. Tanaka thrust out his cell phone. Here, take a look at this. Huh? Osawa blinked, bewildered, then refocused on the phone. He could never have anticipated that he saw the LCD screen, what he saw on the screen. Keep out! Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and the series grow. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out.